Hey Dash community, here Alejandro Echeverria.
And I'm Lorenzo Rey.
We are the co-founder of Dash Merchant, Dash Shop and Dash Text, and now the advisor of Dash Merchant. And this is an interview for DashWatch regarding the Dash Merchant proposal.
What first got you involved with Dash and made you want to submit a Dash-funded proposal?
Well, first we found out about the Dash Caracas conferences. They were made by Eugenia and her team. And then we went to a mini conference, a mini program for entrepreneurs. Then we went there and we found out that many people had a lot of questions regarding Dash, and that was the moment when we came with the idea of doing the Dash Support Center. That was our first proposal.
Could you provide a breakdown of how the Dash Merchant Venezuela proposal team is structured?
The Dash Merchant organization consists in a corporate structure that has project and sales manager, and the team who actually goes out and does the work consists mainly of the sales agents, which reach out to merchants and get them on board, the executive assistants, which do all the administrative work, including submitting the merchants to discoverdash.com, and later on we created the quality control team, which has been one of the most important departments to guarantee quality, obviously, and transparency, and to do follow-ups consistently to all the merchants and get out of Discover Dash those who, for whatever reason, no longer want to accept Dash. Each one of those departments, sales agents, executive assistants, or administrative assistants, and the quality control team all have at least one supervisor.
Could you list the ROI for your proposals to the Dash network?
We are not shy of our achievements in the Dash network. We have achieved many things that are first in the world. We have provided tons of value. So we listed here some of our achievements as a summary. So we are the first merchant adoption program in the world, and we inspired many other communities and people around the world to do the same thing for Dash. We achieved nearly 2,500 merchants, something that is first in the world. I have put Venezuela as the #1 country in merchant adoption in the world. We created the first support center for any cryptocurrency in the world to provide assistance for any doubt that any Dash user could possibly have. We set the bar higher in terms of professionalism and proposal structure. Before our proposals, the DAO was funding a lot of things that many masternodes consider to be questionable or wastes of money. We created a lot of brand awareness. Hundreds of thousands of people right now know about the Dash brand thanks to our work. We set up the first Dash billboards in highly transited highways in the world. We were the first one to establish partnerships and signing up big brand names, as we mentioned before, which provide a lot of confidence and trust in the Dash brand and enable many further integrations and alliances to be set up in the future. We did the first influencer campaign about a cryptocurrency with many famous influencers to provide even more brand awareness and paint Dash as a cool thing to be into. We created the first POS system to deal with the massive inflation of the Bolivar and created the first API to take an average of the price of the Bolivar considering its devaluation, and this API is even used by the Dash core group in their official Dash wallet. In this POS system, we also made the web POS, the web payment processor, and both of them have the integration of Dash Text, the first one to enable SMS payments seamlessly in-app payment platform. We also created the first SMS payment solution for Dash and the second in the world, which enables more than 60% of the people in Venezuela without smartphones to actually use cryptocurrency. And we have something very big to announce with Dash Text very soon that is also first in the world, but I'm not going to spoil it right now. We also have been able to speak. For example, I had the opportunity to speak at a TEDx talk, providing a lot of value and talking a lot about the achievement that Dash has as a cryptocurrency, especially in Venezuela. We have provided feedback to the Dash core group to fix a lot of the bugs namely in their wallets, but in different projects across the community. We are a very important asset to review all the different doubts and questions and to provide marketing information for all kinds of different projects across the DAO. So we encourage people to use the support center to aid themselves. So this was just a list of a summary of the most important things that we have provided, but we have done a lot more. So as said previously, we are not shy of our achievements, and we believe that the Dash DAO has had its money worth in their investments in our projects. We think we have provided tons of value, and we can continue to provide incredible value and innovative solutions because that is our nature, and we will continue to work to get Dash established as best as we can here in the country.
What milestones and deliverables achieved by Dash Merchant Venezuela are you most proud of?
Yeah, we're very pleased and proud about the number of merchants that we have affiliated, over 2,500. Despite the work hasn't been perfect and we have many mistakes, we're very proud because the work is real, and we have working with the quality control team to ensure that that number is increased, and that number is like the actual number that of merchants that are accepting Dash. Also, we're very proud and pleased about the big franchises like Subway and Papa John's, and also local franchises like Sushi Cookies, Rostizados, Burger Shack. So those franchises give trust to the Dash brand and give trust to the work that we are doing.
What have been the most significant challenges and questions you have faced from prospective merchants, and how have you overcome them?
Well, with cryptocurrency, there's always a learning curve, and one of the biggest challenges is that people haven't actually heard of it, or here in Venezuela, most people have just heard about the government cryptocurrency and
the cryptocurrency, Petro, yeah.
Yeah, so that is actually a setback. So our sales agents, their work consists on teaching people what Dash is, what their benefits are, and removing the dust or the dark cloud of the Petro or the lack of trust that people might have when you say the word cryptocurrency. One good thing is just saying about digital currency, because here cryptocurrency might be associated, people kind of associated with the government. So the language and the phrasing and the wording has been some of the most important thing in training our staff, so as to have merchants and the different businesses that we reach out to don't be as skeptic about the potential of cryptocurrency that the Dash cryptocurrency can have for their business.
Dash Merchant Venezuela has indicated the merchant count in Venezuela is over 2,500. What strategies and practices have allowed you to sign up this number of merchants?
Yeah, we're very proud of the number of merchants that we have affiliated and signed up to Discover Dash. No other country in the world have that number, 2,500 merchants. It is unique in the crypto space, the crypto ecosystem. So yeah, there are some cases that the merchants are not accepting Dash, and most of them are due to technical problems because of the internet situation. You know, the internet situation in Venezuela with the internet services. So most of them are technical problems that we are trying to fix right now with the quality control team. And yeah, a 2,500 database is very big, and every database in the world, in the whole world of clients, of merchants, of any kind of services and products need maintenance. So that is why the quality control team is one of the most important departments in this kind of service. Also, another reason of a merchant that is not accepting Dash anymore is because of the Dash decline. The Dash price is declining, and maybe they saw that in the last year the Dash price was $200 and now it's $80. So the merchants say, well, I'm losing money here, so I'm not accepting Dash anymore. So that is why the quality control team is very important. So yeah, Lorenzo.
Yeah, and I mean the number of merchants is never going to be 100% accurate, because there are people who, as Alejandro told you, have some issues, or they have declined to accept Dash. But we encourage people who find these issues to just contact the Dash merchant team so we can fix these problems. Like if you go right now and you say, I don't know, 100,000 merchants accept fiat with debit cards, if you actually go, you're gonna find hundreds who don't in a given time because the systems are broken, they don't have, the systems are down, and that kind of stuff. So just pointing out that 10 merchants, 20 merchants were not accepting Dash is missing the forest for the trees. Like the work is there, the work is real, and those particular cases that for whatever circumstances are no longer accepting Dash is something that we appreciate, that people contact the Dash merchant leadership so that they can take care of those issues. But the big majority of the merchants are accepting Dash, and as I said before, we have invited people, even some collaborators from DashWatch that I met in Colombia. I told them, hey man, you can come here, we'll help you with staying here, and we have made those invitations. People from the Dash Core group, Rodrigo from Dash Brazil has come here, and we encourage people, and we have invited people to come to Venezuela to assess their results by themselves. We are proud of our results, and we encourage people to not miss the forest for the trees.
We appreciate very much that when someone posts a video or say to us that, hey, this merchant is not accepting Dash, we appreciate that very much, because in that way we we say the quality control team, okay, go to that merchant and fix the problem that this merchant may have. So we appreciate very much that feedback from the community or from any person to us to tell us which problems we are having, because it's a community work and it is very valuable to us.
Some community members have raised questions regarding the actual number of merchants who continue to accept Dash. Could you address these concerns and discuss the churn rate you have experienced for Dash accepting merchants?
Yeah, so to do this is that we set up the quality control team. Quality control is the most important thing. We have been studying many of the similar initiatives that people have done in the past, not in terms of crypto, of course, because this is the first time for crypto in the world, but it's a similar work to other companies, fiat companies that have tried to affiliate merchants to use their payment solutions or their payment method. And we found out is that the majority of their staff consists of quality control staff to do follow-ups. So in the beginning, we were using the Dash Help Support Center agents to call merchants and do follow-ups remotely. But then we found out that in order to guarantee quality and to incentivize the merchants, we had to create this quality control department who actually physically goes to the physical source or reaches out to the merchants for the follow-ups. They become friends or they're friendly with them. They make purchases with some regularity, and that keeps merchants motivated and they feel like they have more company, you know, like the Dash merchant team is there for them and motivating them consistently. So that is the most important
thing.
And
still Dash Help is a joint effort with Dash Help because Dash Help is still calling merchants doing follow-up. Yeah, so it's a joint effort between Dash Merchant and Dash Help.
Merchant adoption numbers have been a primary focus, but the number of Dash transactions has remained low. Could you talk about the strategies that will be used to grow the transaction numbers?
Yes, it's important to understand that when Dash Merchant proposal was conceived, its primary, I should say, only goal at the time was to sign up merchants. There were other projects focusing on the consumer end. But the most important thing for transactions to be low is actually the Dash price. As we mentioned before, the target demographic that we started working with Dash Merchant was people who had relatively high income who were able to buy Dash. And many of these people bought Dash back then and the Dash price continued to go down. We seriously did not expect Dash, when it was right around $500, we didn't actually think it would go down that much further. We were hopeful it would actually go back up. So many of these people consistently talk to us and tell us, hey man, I cannot spend my Dash. I put up so much money into it and now it's worth 5 times less. So basically they just don't want to spend it. So it has definitely been the Dash price, the most important factor for people not being incentivized to use Dash. Now, of course, later on we realized that we couldn't just focus on signing up merchants. We had to focus on the consumer end as well. So we started making activities like discounts, participating in fairs, the food trucks, where our own staff were provided with money to make purchases and do tips and incentives for merchants to incentivize the transactions. But given the current circumstances, the best way for people to actually use Dash and have higher transaction counts is to have money flowing to Venezuela from abroad.
Yeah, we have Dash into people's hands.
Exactly. So we have a great program with Dash Text that is helping with this, and we're going to be announcing it very soon. And but also the team is now ready to work with other teams and people, the Dash ecosystem globally, to help get Dash flowing into Venezuela through remittances and other sources of income, so that people can actually have the money to spend it. So
yeah, it is part of our strategy that we a strategy for adoption that we called some months ago. First, get the merchants. Second, get Dash into people's hands. And third, incentivize the transaction. So this is a thing that we thought in the past. So we need to execute it and to get Dash into people's hands, and then keep doing activities to incentivize the transaction like we did in the last year.
So transaction count and real use is going to be one of the primary focuses of the new Dash Merchant leadership. So you can be assured that that's going to be tackled quite heavily this year.
How do the Dash accepting merchants feel about the low transaction counts?
Yeah, so there are many merchants who have only received one transaction where they were affiliated, or if they sell expensive items or relatively expensive items, they haven't received any transactions at all. The important thing is that they're willing to accept Dash, and they are in continued communication with our quality control staff, and they're open to do it. They have absolutely no reason to just be absolutely disappointed. Our sales team obviously explains to them that this is something that takes time, and they're just happy to have another channel of payment to hopefully have their business grow better in the future. So as the Dash price recovers, which we hopefully recover quite a bit this year, and as the ecosystem grows, they are prepared to accept Dash when it comes. So obviously the merchants that are receiving most transactions right now are happier, but that does not mean that the merchants who are receiving low transactions are sad or something like that. They have that channel open, they have they are disposed, they have the predisposal to accept Dash, they're willing to accept it, and they will use it as a great opportunity once the ecosystem grows and the Dash price recovers.
What do you believe is the biggest issue stopping Dash from becoming more widely used as a currency option in Venezuela?
There's nothing stopping Dash from getting massively and widely adopted in Venezuela. It's just a matter of scale and time. So it's important to manage expectations here. Like successful companies who reach out and get millions and millions of users have millions and millions of dollars of initial investment. And I think amongst all the different Venezuelan projects, I don't think it gets to $1 million in investment. So this is something that needs to be understood. This takes time. And obviously the Dash price made all proposals, including Venezuelan proposals, to be asking for amounts that couldn't be as high as maybe one had hoped to do a more extensive and broad work. There needs to be investment. Venezuela is the #1 country in terms of cryptocurrency adoption in the world, and is the place that has the most chance of having cryptocurrency, and namely Dash, widely adopted across the whole country. But you cannot expect this to occur in 3 months, in 6 months, or even in a year. This is something that takes time, and obviously the volatility in the price, especially the downtrend of last year, obviously put some obstacles, but still the results were provided in the midst of a bear market. So I see nothing but positives here. There's an ecosystem being created. There's an entire there are entire teams of people working on this, and we have seen the results and the fruitful of the work that we have put into here. So there's nothing stopping it. It's just a matter of managing expectations and obviously implementing strategies. The things that we have done here in Venezuela, there are things that are first in the world. Like the Dash Help Support Center is the first cryptocurrency support center in the world. The Dash Merchant Proposal is the first
team, yeah.
Exactly, it's the first team to tackle merchants to accept cryptocurrency in the world. This is innovative work. Same with Dash Text. The solutions like that did not exist in the world, based almost anywhere in the world. So this is something that has to, it needs to be tackled with patience, and obviously people and teams need to be pressured to be more efficient. But the Dash network and the nature of the Dash network makes people more professional as time goes by. The competition in the DAO makes teams more efficient and more effective over time. So managing expectations is very important, and as time goes by, the ecosystem will continue to grow, and Venezuela is the #1 country in the probability that it will be a crypto economy widely. So there's that.
Could you please explain why your team felt the need to present inaccurate information and documentation to DashWatch?
Yeah, that was a very unfortunate event because in the situation in which we were, we felt at the moment that the DashWatch team had been biased. So we have confirmed that that is not the case, and we had hoped that we have had a better, closer relationship with the DashWatch team before, so that we could have, sorted the situation differently. But at the time, as you know, we were in the middle of a troll attack, in the middle of our work that we have put so much effort into, being questioned and viciously attacked by different members who were just dismissing it or saying that Venezuela as a country was not worthwhile. So it was weird to us, the situation in which the financial review came to us. Honestly, we were not prepared at the time because, as Alejandro told you, every single expense was not being recorded, but the only inaccuracy was regarding the salaries. And I mean, the risk that you put yourself when you are a Venezuelan and you are a successful business person and you put your face up to the public and you record videos and you put your face out there is quite a huge risk. I don't know if you saw the BBC documentary about the risk of successful people here in Venezuela. So basically the work that we do here is very passionate. We really believe in what we're doing, but we're also facing a lot of risks. So all that stuff came together and we made a desperate decision that we regret. But the most important thing is that we have provided the results that we have promised. Our work is real, and we have committed to being more transparent looking forward. And the new team of Dash Merchant, we're being responsible.
Yeah, and we took full responsibility for the mistake that we made.
Exactly. We're not trying to clinch to our status in this organization. We just want for the project to continue, and for the vision that we had since the beginning to continue. So we're being responsible in stepping down. We want to still be involved as advisors, unpaid advisors, and we are sure the new Dash Merchant leadership can take these mistakes and all of the things that they have learned since we founded the project to keep going and keep providing the results that the community wants so much.
Some community members point to the average salaries in Venezuela and make comments regarding the compensation your team has taken. Could you please articulate for those not familiar with the situation in Venezuela why these average salaries are not sufficient to cover basic living expenses?
We don't think, honestly, that our compensations were unfair. We all know the situation that Venezuela is living, but you also need to understand the kind of professionals that we are and the kind of business people that we are. Successful business people in Venezuela to make decent amounts of money, but also the work that we do here, it's a work that entails risk. Not only in terms of our personal safety, as I mentioned before, but also as in a volatile market like the cryptocurrency market, in which the Dash price has gone sadly down during the past year more than 85% or 90%. Additionally, the cost of living in Venezuela is much more complicated than most people believe. The minimum wage is not a real measure of the costs of living here. And also, you need to understand that in a socialist country like this, services or emergency treatments or that kind of stuff are extremely expensive in the private sector, which is something that if you don't have access to that, if you have an accident or something like that, you're in a very dire situation. One of our employees had a very tragic incident with his father, and it was more than $3,000 for the whole treatment. So those are unexpected circumstances that just can swing your whole life in an instant. So we don't think that our compensation was unfair at all, but we can definitely understand why some people might consider that was the case, and we should have had a more ongoing conversation with DashWatch. As I said, if we had had a different relationship with them, we would have been able to sort this out. But we understand that many people would feel envious or would feel like it was unfair, and the risk that entails for us to be disclosing our personal salaries puts us in quite a bit of risk. So that's the reason why.
Yeah, I wanted to add another thing, that the cost of living in Venezuela is not the same as like 6 or 5 months back. If just for an example, a regular meal in a regular restaurant could be 6 months back like $1 or $2, and right now it's within $6 and $7 a regular meal. So it is like inflation in dollars, if you want to call it like that. So in that way, the other companies also have been increased. The other companies in the Venezuelan market have increased the salary of their people, because so the people can make a living. So as Lorenzo said, the minimum wage, the minimum salary in Venezuela is just stupid reference from the government. You can do and you can live with like one day with that salary. So people has to make much more than that.
Yeah, and the situation here has been declining so rapidly and so badly during the past few years that many people have actually lost, the sight of what is actually a decent living. So I've heard people say that with $2,000 you can live like royalty in Venezuela, and that's ridiculous. Like if you have problems with your car, like car repairs are super expensive. Like one tire costs like $100, $150, just one tire. And cars in Venezuela are old. We ourselves have old cars, because buying a new car in Venezuela is basically impossible. Like $20,000, you cannot buy that. And the other thing is that people in the West are used to credit. That is something that in a hyperinflationary situation like in Venezuela, there is no credit here. If you want to buy a car, or if you want to, pay your rent or whatever it is that you have to pay up front. You have to pay up front. So you have to pay the money. Your credit card is not going to cover your car repair for $500. So there's a lot of misunderstanding about the situation here. And if you actually want to have a decent living here in Venezuela, there are many things that are more expensive than even in other countries. So yeah, we think we were fairly compensated, and the most important thing is that for the money that we were providing at the time that we started, we provided the best results arguably in the entire Dash network, and we feel that it was just and that we kept our promise despite a declining market, the risks, and the situation in Venezuela.
What are the factors you consider when developing a budget for a proposal with the Dash Treasury?
Well, first of all, we tackle our objectives and what are our strategies to tackle those objectives. Based on that is that we develop any budget to submit a proposal. Obviously considering fair compensations for the members of the team, including the leadership, and all the necessary expenses, projected expenses that we could possibly need. Obviously strategies change, price of Dash goes up and down, there's a lot of volatility, so things have to change, new ideas come, members of the team in all the different levels of the company come up with new ideas and new strategies and submit proposals to maybe we can do this, maybe we can do that. I found an invitation to participate in this fair or these other things. So there's obviously a lot of change during the process, but those are the things that we mainly consider in order to achieve the results that we set ourselves in the beginning.
How can the DAO be sure accounting will be accurately recorded and presented moving forward?
Yeah, it's important to mention and to remember that that kind of financial review from DashWatch were not a thing in the past. So from now on, the Dash Merchant team will record all the data of all expenses, because in the past we were focused on results and we were not recording all the data of all the expenses and the hash of the transaction and that kind of stuff. So from now on, the team will record all the data for all the expenses, all the bills, all the hash of the transaction. And so in that side, that's what we have all the information. So that in one point. In the second point, the team will have like what we call a masternode owner advisory board, which will consist in 5 masternode owners that will grant and will be monitoring and making audit of every movement, every single action and spend, and will provide advisory. So in that way, the DAO can be trustful of the team, because they will be this team of masternode owners ensuring the work, ensuring the quality, ensuring all the expenses has been recorded.
Please introduce the new Dash Merchant Venezuela leadership team and provide a little background to their experience and qualifications for the new roles.
So, Andrade and Bruno, here they are, the new leadership of Dash Merchant Venezuela. But as I told you, they have been here since the start.
Yes, that's right. I am Alejandro Andrade. I am the current project manager of Dash Merchant Venezuela. I am a chemical engineer from Simón Bolívar University right here in Caracas, Venezuela. I have worked in the project department of supply chain companies, in plant operations. I have experience in project management, and I have been right here in Dash Merchant Venezuela since its foundation, and I have been developing all the KPIs, the monitoring, the work done so far, and I'm very excited for this new opportunity to show my face as the representing leader of Dash Merchant, and I hope we count on your support, and you can trust us and show you that you can rely your confidence and your trust in us.
What about you, Bruno?
Hola Dash Community, soy Bruno Módica, el gerente de ventas de Dash Merchant Venezuela. Tengo 20 años de experiencia en ventas de productos intangibles, 13 años de carrera en MobileNet, en una de las telefonías más grandes del país. Además de eso, trabajé en aprovecha.com como asesor de ventas, logrando un avance del 110% en la cartera en ese momento de aprovecha.com. Se me presenta la oportunidad de trabajar con Dash, y para nosotros fue todo un reto el lograr que los comercios adoptaran la criptomoneda, ya que era una forma nueva de vender la misma. Ya no era agarrar la cripto como algo donde yo puedo ahorrar o algo en lo que puedo invertir. Es más para cambiarlo por mis productos y servicios. Eso implica una nueva estrategia de ventas que hemos implementado, y hemos obtenido grandes resultados, logrando en 8 meses un crecimiento de la cartera aproximado de un 2016%, que se venía trabajando en Venezuela. Estoy de verdad agradecido con la oportunidad y espero poder seguir adelante con este proyecto y agradezco mucho el apoyo que me han brindado.
Yeah, so as you can see, these are the tandem for the new Dash Merchant leadership. And as you can see, Bruno is the expert in sales, and Andrade is the expert in processes and project development. So they have been doing a great work since we hired them. And as new leaders, they will do an excellent job. They will not disappoint you.
What assurances can DMV give that this change in leadership is a genuine transition of responsibility?
Having a master owner advisory board, you will have assurance that Dash Merchant Venezuela will be transparent in their work, and you will have ways with the advisory board and with DashWatch reports to monitor our work and to audit our results. So we can prove that Bruno and myself are trustworthy and are professional individuals. And also with the help of Lorenzo and Alejandro as on-pay advisors, we will make that transitions easier, so we can regain your trust in Dash community.
How do you intend to rebuild trust with the DAO? Will you be making a smaller ask to restore confidence, or do you intend to come in at a similar ask in order not to lose momentum?
Yeah, we as advisors, we are advising to the new leaders of Dash Merchant Venezuela, Bruno Andrade, that during this transition, the transition from the old leaders and the new leaders, they have to gain the trust of the community, and we are advising them to request a way smaller amount than before, only for maintenance, to keep the quality control process going and to focus on the transactions. So they will be asking a way smaller budget for the proposal, for the next proposal. Also a shorter proposal of only 2 months. Also, as said before in the past question, they will be doing a full DashWatch report from now on. They will be recording all the hashes, all the expenses, all the bills. And also the most important thing that I mentioned in the past question, they will have the master owner advisory board that will be functioning as an advisory board and also for audit, for monitor. It will be like a DashWatch team, but it consisted in master owners. So in that way, the Dash community can be sure and can have confidence. Can have confidence in this team because they will be audited by the DashWatch team, and also by this master owner advisory board. So those are the things that they will be doing to regain the trust from the Dash DAO. I don't know, Lorenzo, if you want to add another thing.
That's all.
Okay.
How has the significant Dash drop in price affected your project, and what steps did you take to compensate? What results and ROI were you able to return compared to the original projected objectives for this proposal before the Dash price fell?
Yes, as said before, the price drop of Dash affected us on the transaction count, but still we are very proud of the number of sign-up of Dash Merchant and Discover Dash, which was our primary goal. And despite the price drop affected our transaction count, now we are focusing our strategies to keep growing the transaction count and the consumer consumption in the stores and the merchants.
Yeah, so keeping our promises and our initial, statements, we are very proud that despite the price drop, we still delivered our results that we promised in the beginning. So that is very important for everyone to understand. We have invited many people from outside to assess them for themselves. You will be seeing a lot more proof of that, but our merchant signups are real. They are willing to accept Dash. We do follow up with them, and that is something that in the midst of a bear market is quite difficult to do. So that makes us very proud, and I know that the new Dash merchant leadership will continue with the same professionalism and continuing to deliver on their promises, even in the midst of a bear market.
DMV is one of the only proposals to sign up world brands such as Subway, Papa John's, Remax, and Susie's Cookies. How much work was it to sign up these names, and what do you believe are the benefits to the Dash network of doing so?
Yeah, we're the only project that has signed very important worldwide merchants as well as successful, widely known franchises inside Venezuela. And that is something that was absolutely planned and part of our strategy that opened up the market for many other projects and many other initiatives to be done. Because having partnerships with important brand names gives trust and confidence in the Dash brand. It provides, a a precedent for new stuff to come. So absolutely, we're proud of those partnerships that we have acquired. Many people say, hey, why didn't you focus on lower merchants? And part of it we already explained, because of the solutions, people didn't have the smartphones, but also targeting a higher demographic allows what we have said in the past, a top-down approach. When you have the big merchants, all the small merchants are way more likely to accept Dash because, hey, if Subway is doing it, if Papa John is doing it, why don't I do it as well? So this is something that is very, very important, and we are proud that we opened up the market for many things to come here to Venezuela.
What are the goals and milestones set for 2019 for Dash Merchant Venezuela?
So for 2019, the new leadership of Dash Merchant will be focusing on many things, namely focus on loyalty, consistency, and transaction count. There will still be new merchants being added to Discover Dash, obviously, but they feel that is a much higher priority that the merchants that have already been affiliated to increase their transaction count and to help their businesses grow as much as possible. 2,500 merchants is a lot, but a minority of them actually receive transactions every single day. There are many of them who have just received one transaction or something like that. So it's important to incentivize the existing ecosystem to do that. The other thing is that we wanted to focus on more essential items since the beginning. The reason we didn't do that is because when we founded Dash Help, we saw how the conferences of Dash Caracas were how they were going, and people with who have not so high incomes, they either don't have smartphones or their smartphones have very low memory issues. So we took a top-down approach, a trickle-down economics approach, and we felt that in order to get Dash established here, it was very important to focus on getting important merchants and restaurants and targeting a demographic who had the money to actually purchase Dash. Remember that there were not the tools that we have now, but the Dash Merchant leadership, and we agree with them, feel like now those tools are there, especially Dash Text. So focusing on merchants who sell more essential items is something that can be done successfully right now. The other important thing is that we need to get Dash into people's hands. So right now there are other teams, both in Venezuela and in other countries, that can help us, including the people in the US, Europe, and the rest of Latin America, that can help send money to Venezuela. So those people who now have their SMS wallets or have the tools to use Dash properly can receive remittances from outside and expend that money in important merchants, in merchants that sell basic items. So that is going to be a very important focus during this year for the new Dash Merchant leadership.
How are the Dash Merchant, Dash Text, and Dash Help proposals related? And what connections do they have between these three different projects?
Yes, our Dash projects have a lot of synergy between them and depend on a great manner from one another. So the Dash Help Support Center for us is the base layer that enables everything else to happen smoothly, because the Dash Help Support Center is there to answer any question or resolve any issue that anyone in the Dash ecosystem can have about any other project. So merchants can call the support center, users can call the support center, and technology companies can call the support center. Any doubt you could possibly have about Dash, you can solve it with Dash Help. If Dash Help wasn't there, it would be a void, and people would not feel so much confidence into the Dash brand. Every time we talk to a person, either a user or a new person who wants to get involved into Dash, or a business, when we tell them that there is a support center to assist them in any doubt they could possibly have, and that also have many different channels like WhatsApp, social media, our website, live chat, ticket support, and even phone calls that they can have assistance, that provides a lot of confidence. So Dash Help is the base layer for everything else to happen smoothly. Now, Dash Merchant, of course, provides the merchant sign up and incentivizes all kinds of businesses to accept Dash to create the ecosystem. And Dash Text, we believe, is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful tool in Venezuela to get Dash massively adopted. One of the biggest challenges we're facing is that the majority of our 4,000 users actually have smartphones, because they find it even easier to use Dash through Dash Text than using the regular wallet. But we are having a very incredible strategy here to tackle those who actually need it the most, those who have the feature phones, and as said, we'll be releasing the details about them very soon. So as you can see, our projects work synergistically with one another and also help other different projects even in other countries, to have a much better and to provide a much better Dash user experience to everyone who wants to use Dash.
Remember that Dash Merchant POS system has the DashText integration inside of them, so anyone with a DashText wallet can pay in our Dash Merchant with their SMS DashText wallets.
How would you respond to the statement, Venezuela is too politically and economically unstable to be a viable location for Dash adoption?
Yeah, well, that is exactly what gives Dash the biggest and the best opportunity to become adopter here in Venezuela. You know, the awful and extremely awful political and economical decision that the government took to the hyperinflation that we have today, and that is exactly why Venezuela is the perfect laboratory for cryptocurrencies to become adopted here.
Exactly. Like the instability, the economic instability is what actually motivated people and incentivized them to start looking for alternatives. Let's face it, man. Cryptocurrencies in general are not that easy to use, and we have been able to create innovative solutions to make it easier for people. And we appreciate everyone in the world who is creating innovative solutions, but it's not something that's easy for anyone. And still, Venezuela is the #1 country in terms of cryptocurrency adoption in the world. So the opportunity here is quite clear. Now, that's not to say that political instability cannot affect. Like, well, we have had employees who have left the country because they are looking for better opportunities or better quality of life elsewhere. But in general, the instability here is actually an opportunity. Of course, if there were war to break out or civil war or something like that, which we don't think is going to happen and hasn't actually happened, I know many people are concerned by the things that they see from abroad, and at the border there have been a lot of terrible things, deaths and that kind of stuff. And in the city there's a lot of crime and that kind of stuff. One of the most dangerous cities in the world.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean exactly that doesn't mean that people don't have an opportunity here, and that doesn't mean that those obstacles are going to stop cryptocurrency from being adopted. In fact, it's the contrary. The fact that those situations are there is what incentivizes people to look for an alternative for more economic freedom and to have, you know, better control of their financial stuff and their financial life. So there's no country in the world best prepared and best suited to have cryptocurrency massively adopted than Venezuela.
What is the current status with the government policy on cryptocurrency in Venezuela? And what factors do you feel make Dash attractive to adopt as a payment method compared to other coins such as Bitcoin?
Yeah, so as we have stated previously, the government in Venezuela has had disastrous policies that have brought our country to poverty, hunger, and starvation. However, as I said previously, for various reasons, some of them for their own benefit, they have been very open in terms of cryptocurrency. So we have been able to create an ecosystem of cryptocurrency in Venezuela with minimal persecution by the government. However, the opportunity to get cryptocurrency established in Venezuela does not depend on the current government to stay in power. If there is a change in government or if they stay, the opportunity in Venezuela is still there, and we will continue to work to better our country no matter the circumstances and to establish the Dash cryptocurrency as a widely adopted currency for everyone in our country.
What would you say are the most important lessons you have learned from running a Dash-funded proposal?
Yes, we think some of the most valuable lessons that we have learned about running a Dash project are first that we cannot have so much detailed planification and a long planification because everything in this ecosystem, in the crypto ecosystem, change like daily, weekly, or monthly. So we try our best to have a detailed planification, but we have to learn, and we have learned that we have to be flexible in our planification. So that is one of the most valuable lessons.
Yeah, another thing is managing expectations. Like, we have a lot of business experience, but the work in the Dash community and for the DAO has a lot of political work involved with that. And so we recognize that we have to improve a lot in terms of reporting and in terms of letting the community know what's really happening, like provide more content, more videos, more pictures, tweet more content, and also to have more close communication with different masternodes. That's why the new Dash Merchant leadership is going to have this masternode board of advisors to always be there talking to them. Like, we have made great friends in the Dash community, and we're in constant communication with them, but we know that we can improve that even further. So the political work is something that we have learned a lot and will continue to improve on, because honestly, the masternode owners are not here in Venezuela. So as much communication, as much content that we can put out makes the breaks the barrier and lets them know more precisely what is really going on here. And that's something that we have to improve.
Yeah, another lesson related to the political work is do not take desperate decisions and listen much more to our advisor and to the friends, the master owners that want to help us in our work. Another lesson, for one, is record all the expenses and all the transactions, all the hashes, record all the bills so we can report much better our results.
Yeah, and the last thing is that you just don't pay attention to the negativity. You know, just focus on our work. In our attempt to always be responding to everything, we have lost some energy trying to respond to people who are not trying to be productive or to provide, you know,
positive feedback.
Exactly, positive feedback, constructive criticism. So we're definitely going to be ignoring people who are toxic to our work and just focus on the positive side of everything and not just try to have an answer for everything, because sometimes, as Alejandro said, you can make bad decisions.
What unique qualities do you think you guys bring to the Dash network?
Yeah, so our most unique qualities are the fact that we are entrepreneurs, we are creative, we are innovators. So the things that we have created are, most of them, first in the world. So we are not just managers, we are not just business people. We do have that experience as well in our other companies, but our most important asset is that we create stuff. We create innovative solutions to problems. The Dash Health Support Center is the first cryptocurrency support center in the world, assisting their users. Other cryptocurrencies cannot provide that to their audience or to their users. The Dash merchant proposal as well, that kind of stuff is the first in the world to do that kind of merchant sign up that we were doing. Dash Text is also a super innovative solution that doesn't exist anywhere else or almost anywhere else in the world. And the new things that are coming soon are also extremely innovative. So we have had conversations with masternodes, and they have told us that, guys, your most important assets is that you are innovators, you are entrepreneurs, you are creators of solutions. And that is something that is what we need in Venezuela. And we agree with that. We live here in Venezuela. We know the different things and intricacies of living in here and being a leader here in Venezuela. And we believe that being here and knowing your country and knowing and having the creativity and the capacity to innovate and create unique solutions in the world to help our country and to help Dash gets established is the most important thing that we provide. And this is something that we have been told by advisors and members of the community that is what they appreciate the most about us.
Many Venezuelans have fled the country, and many others cannot leave, but you have chosen to stay. Why did you remain when most of your family and friends have gone?
So the main reason for us to stay here is because we believe in our country and we want to rebuild our country with our companies, with our projects. In my personal case, I have 80% of my family lives outside within Europe and within United States. So I have European passport, so I have the opportunity to leave my country and to live very well with a good salary and with not taking the risk I've taken in Venezuela. So, but that is not my motivation, because I want to rebuild my country and I believe in my country. I believe in my qualities to rebuild my country and to rebuild my country, because I believe in that. And with the companies I founded and with the projects I founded with Dash, I think there is a big opportunity to change the financial system, the economical system through Dash. So that is my main motivation.
Exactly. The same case applies with me. Most of my family are overseas. I also have a European passport, and the majority of my family are like 70 or 60% of them are in the United States. Even close family members like my brother or uncles with companies in the United States, so I could even get a work visa if I wanted to. I have been offered positions as an electronic engineer in Europe to live comfortably there. We are highly skilled people. We are trained individuals. We are engineers from the most important university, the most important technical university in this country. So we are very high qualified people, and the only reason we stay here is because we believe in the ecosystem here. We believe that we can grow our companies, and when the Venezuelan economy fixes itself, we can be in a much better position here. We're sacrificing short-term gratification or quality of life with bad services and risking our lives because we believe that we can be rewarded in the future for our work and to rebuild our country. So it's important that people understand this, because the risk that entails showing our faces and going out here and providing all these values to the community is something that has a lot of risks to us, and we could be doing something else. We haven't even been approached by people in other crypto communities who really value what we did for Dash and have offered us opportunities without the hassle of reporting to the community. It's just private investment in which we don't have to deal with that kind of stuff. Making some of our services multi-coining, having investment, but we don't want to do this. We got very enticed with Dash. We really believe that is the one that has the most chance of being highly adopted here, and we wish to remain working for the DAO because we believe in it. So we wanted to make this clear that we are committed to establishing Dash here and to have our products have Dash across all our solutions, and that is our main motivation, to help our country, to build our careers here, and to have the most positive results that we can for something that we believe in.
Do you have any additional news or information you would like to share with the Dash community?
So we hope we could answer many of the community concerns in this video, and we invite you to keep following up our efforts because we will continue to work. Andrade and Bruno are passionate professionals. I encourage every one of you to support them. We believe that there are contentious attempts to basically, quote unquote, replace their work, and that is something that is not so easily achieved. The alliances, the contacts, and all the professionalism and all the strategies that this team has put together has value, and one cannot just easily replace it from one month to another. So I encourage the community to provide Bruno and Andrade the new leadership of Dash Merchant, a new opportunity to continue to provide the results that you guys are so used to, and we consider that it's very important that the management and the leaders of these projects in Venezuela are here in Venezuela. So we are open to any collaboration with any proposal owner in whatever country to help bring Dash into Venezuela, and we're open to working with anyone, but the efforts inside Venezuela have to be done by Venezuelans and have to be led by Venezuelans. That is our belief. So thank you so much for watching, and keep aware of everything that's coming soon.